Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagvadgita, chapter 16, the divine and demonic natures, text number 5 onward, text number 6 onwards. So Krishna is further speaking on now demonic nature, because divine he has covered already. Do bhut sargo loke asmin devasurevacha devo vistartusha prapta asuram partha me shranam. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. So it is Krishna who is saying that there are only two kinds of created beings, either divine or demoniac. Now we have to see which one is us. So we can say, well, we are more demoniac than divine or more divine than demoniac, but both the qualities are there. Now what do we call ourselves? Let's see what Prabhupada says. Lord Krishna, having assured Arjuna that he was born with the divine qualities, is now describing the demoniac way. The conditioned and living entities are divided into two classes in this world. Those who are born with divine qualities follow a regulated life. That is to say, they abide by the injunctions in scriptures and by the authorities. One should perform duties in the light of authoritative scriptures. This mentality is called divine. One who does not follow the regulative principles as they are laid down in the scriptures and who acts according to his whims is called demoniac or asuric. There is no other criterion but obedience to the regulative principles of scriptures. It is mentioned in Vedic literature that both the demigods and the demons are born of the Prajapati. The only difference is that one class obeys the Vedic instructions and the other doesn't. So one who follows the Vedic literature, scriptures, instructions given in Vedic, they are called divine, and others are called demonic. Now we can say we follow or we try to follow to a certain extent, whatever extent we can, and others we cannot or we don't. So in at one place it is said, in Satyuga, the divine and demoniac, the devotees and the asuras, they used to live on separate planets. The whole planets were either divine, full of divine people, devotees, or asuras. In Treta Yuga, they used to live on the same planet but in different countries. Like when Lord Ram went to Sri Lanka to get Sita back and to kill Ravan and his other members. In Dwapar Yuga, they would live in the same country but in different houses, just like Pandavas and Kauravas. But in Kali Yuga, same planet, same country, same house. In fact, the same person. So he has both divine and demoniac qualities. Now it depends on us which qualities we give preference to, which qualities we want to develop, which qualities are already developed, and now it's up to us. Because what is the purpose of Krishna telling all this is that we can develop, this independence is given to us that we can develop divine qualities or demoniac if you want to. Nobody can stop. So we can, it's not like everything is destined. Everything is destined to a certain extent, but on top of it, we have the independence to make the necessary changes. So in Kali Yuga, this is a special priority, a special quality that we have both divine and demonic qualities. Now let's look at demonic qualities. Text 7. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidura suraha na shocham na pita cha charo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. In every civilized human society, there is some set of scriptural rules and regulations which is followed from the beginning. Especially among the Aryans, those who adopt the Vedic civilization, who are known as the most advanced civilized people. Those who do not follow the scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. So those who adopt Vedic civilization or the scriptures, they are considered as the topmost advanced civilized people, or the Aryans. Now, Aryans, first of all, that Aryan invasion theory is completely bogus, doesn't make sense. And secondly, Germans under Hitler rule, they used to call themselves Aryans. So somehow Hitler and his party, they had studied the scripture, Vedic scriptures. And they came up with this idea, our race is the best, and that's why we are the Aryans. It depends on the qualities, not just some crazy leader says and then everybody becomes Aryan. No. And on the other hand, those who do not follow the scriptures, they are demons. Therefore, it is stated here that the demons do not know the scriptural rules, nor do they have any inclination to follow them. Most of them do not know them, and even if some of them know, they have not the tendency to follow them. They have no faith, nor are they willing to act in terms of the Vedic injunctions. That's why it is said they don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. According to scripture, of course, they know in their mind what they want to do, but scripturally, what is to be done and what is not to be done, they do not know. They don't know and they don't want to know. The demons are not clean, either externally or internally. One should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of God and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. So even the external cleanliness is difficult for demons to maintain. They don't. We say, oh, these Europeans and Americans, they are so clean. Of course, they like to keep the cities very clean. The roads and outside the grass, the lawns, everything is very nicely kept. But the problem is person, individual. Yeah. Here, taking bath is a big austerity actually. They don't like to take bath. I won't say everybody, but many of them. But if you go to Europe, they are even more dirty. They don't like to take bath at all. I don't want to ruin anybody's day, but this is a fact. I mean, not in this company, my previous place where I was working. So had to go to the washroom to pass urine. And on the next stall, my boss was passing urine. And Of course, when passing urine, I like to keep quiet and just concentrate on the work that needs to be done and get out of there. But he wanted to talk. And I was like, gosh, why I have to listen to this guy now? And I noticed he had the coffee mug in his hand while passing urine and he was sipping coffee. I'm like, this is crazy. But he was a manager, so can't say anything. But this is what some of them do. I haven't seen others, but some of them are dirty to this extent. So this is what it is. They don't keep the body clean or brush their teeth or shave. Of course, now these days it's a fashion to keep the beard, to keep a long beard. So shaving is out of question anyway. So this cleanliness is that's why it is said cleanliness is next to godliness. So we have to keep ourselves clean externally and internally. Externally, taking bath at least twice a day. And of course, it keeps the body fresh, keeps the diseases away, and one can really concentrate, or at least have some inclination towards God's service, because these are all part of goodness, mode of goodness. The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. And internal cleanliness, Prabhupada clearly says that one should always remember the holy name, chant the holy names. And for internal cleanliness, we should take prasadam. Prasadam is very important. Hear the holy names, hear Krishna Katha. So internally also we get cleansed. As for behavior, there are many rules and regulations guiding human behavior, such as the Manu Samhita, which is a law of the human race. Even up to today, those who are Hindus follow the Manu Samhita. Of course, we follow Indian Penal Code, not Manu Samhita. Who follows Manu Samhita these days? People, we don't even know what's written in Manu Samhita, and even if we find out, people will say, "Oh, how can you make sure that this is really written by Manu? And this is the real version of Manu Samhita." So there can be different interpretations also of Manu Samhita. So even it's hard to follow the Indian Penal Code, forget about Manu Samhita. Laws of inheritance and other legalities are derived from this book. Now, in the Manu Samhita, it is clearly stated that a woman should not be given freedom. So, whenever I read this sentence, Mataji's always get on my case. First of all, it's not my viewpoint and it's not my statement. Prabhupada is making a statement based on Manu Samhita. But look at next statement. That does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves. He's clearly stating that. They should not be given freedom, but they should not be kept as slaves. But this part, men don't like it because they want women to be their slaves, either sex slaves or slaves for cooking and cleaning only. That's it. And that is a sad part. That we say, oh, I'm following Manu Samhita, or I'm following Quran, or I'm following other scriptures, and my scripture says that. Where does it say that? That you should keep her as a slave. Oh, this is Patni Dharma, and those who try to follow, or claim to follow Vedic instructions. Or this is Patni Dharma. But what about Pati Dharma? Pati Dharma is I just work, come home, have my wife cook nice prasadam, but forget about prasadam, nice food for me, and at night should fulfill all my desires, And in the morning, I go to work, and she should also work because one income is not sufficient. But then she has no other rights. This is kind of nonsense is going on in terms of in the name of Vedic or Patni Dharma or Islamic tenets or whatever nonsense is going on. Women are not to be kept as slaves. Supposed to give proper respect and proper place, proper security. This is the job of a husband to give physical, emotional, spiritual, financial security to the dependents, and wife is the first dependent. And wife is the one who makes, that's why she's called Ardhangani. Ardhangani means she makes the man complete. Of course, if he remains brahmachari or takes sannyas, that's a different story. Now he is completely dedicating to spiritual life. So that's a different story. But in the material life, that's why she says and Ardhangani, that she makes the man complete. But it's all in the books only. And that is why um, they're like freedom, like woman freedom movement and this and that movements are going on because they say we don't have equal rights because those equal rights are denied by men, and just for one thing only, to enjoy unrestricted sex life. And if they are not satisfied with one, they want to have more than one. That's the whole reason. This is demoniac. That's what is demoniac. So Prabhupada says that does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves, but they are like children. Children are not given freedom, but that does not mean that they are kept as slaves. So again, twice Prabhupada is saying the same thing. The demons have now neglected such injunctions, and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved the social condition of the world. Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. She should be given protection by the father in her younger days, by the husband in her youth, and by the grown up sons in her old age. This is proper social behavior according to the Manu Samhita. But modern education has artificially devised a puffed up concept of womanly life, and therefore marriage is practically now an imagination in human society. In social condition of women, the social condition of women is thus not very good now, although those who are married are in a better condition than those who are proclaiming their so-called freedom. The demons therefore do not accept any instruction which is good for society, and because they do not follow the experience of great sages and the rules and regulations laid down by the sages, the social condition of the demoniac people is very misleading. Of course, give complete freedom, that's also not good because Prabhupada said they're like children. Children doesn't mean they don't have brains, but um, women are considered more emotional in nature. It's not a bad quality, it's just they're different. And when they're emotional, they are taken advantage of by, like Prabhupada said in the second chapter of Bhagvadgita, and one of the purport, that they were taken advantage of by unscrupulous men. So that's when it leads to Varna Sankar, unwanted progeny, and there's plenty of them around. But at the same time, if they're married to one man and he doesn't take care, he exploits, and there's so many houses that beat up women, and and so many families, they believe, okay, if I have two or three girls in my house, my first job and the only job, and it's a big headache. I just have to somehow get rid of these girls, get them married off to somebody, and that's it. My responsibility is over. How he keeps his wife or my daughter, it hardly matters. And or then they say, or our family tradition is our the thing that we follow in this family is, if a girl is married to some household, then she should not never ever 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 in any condition, any circumstances, she should never leave that house. That's it. Only her dead body should come out. Well, that's a good injunction. Only if the husband is taking good care of that girl. If the in-laws are taking good care of that girl. But everything has gone topsy-turvy, and there's so many cases of suicides. And then there are so many other cases also of women taking advantage of the different laws in the country, and they're really making the lives miserable of their in-laws and the husbands. That's also true. That's also happening. But either case, this is demoniac actually. In either case, it is demoniac. So, so obviously, this was Prabhupada's dream that we should develop a society, an ideal society where everybody is following the rules and regulations of the scriptures properly. But unfortunately, even in ISKCON, the divorce rate is very, very high, higher than even the regular society sometimes. And that's also not a good sign. Text 8. Asatyam apratishtham te jagadahuramishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyati akam hetukam. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is a product of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. They means the demonic people. The demoniac conclude that the world is a phantasmagoria. There is no cause and effect, no controller, no purpose. Everything is unreal. So again, those who are not divine, they are demonic. Divine means following the instructions, and the real Vedic instruction is to know God, to serve God, to love God. Vedasya sarvar aham eva vedya. So even if somebody studies all the scriptures but he doesn't understand God, doesn't like to serve God, then according to this verse, he's a demon. So in that case, all the Mayavadis also fall in this category. Although they might have good knowledge of scriptures in their own way, they might be worshipping Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, but of course in their heart, their main aim is to merge in Brahmajyoti. So according to Bhagvadgita, they all can be considered as demons. So they say there is no controller, no purpose, everything is unreal. Jagan, Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. So if those people who say that, according to this chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they are demons. They might look like big sadhus. They might have very good knowledge and very good oratory skills, very good presentation skills, and keeping the audiences spellbound and attracting so many followers in the name of religion, in the name of bhakti in the name of scriptures. But if they don't understand the real purpose of Vedas, if they don't understand by all the Vedas, the essence of Vedas is to know Krishna and to serve Krishna, to get devoted to Krishna, then they are considered as demonic. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. They see it was all created by Maya, nature. They have their own theory that the world has come about in its own way and that there is no reason to believe that there is a God behind it. So that is the theory of Big Bang. And so many scientists still believe in it. And they will never say God created it. They say it just happened on its own. It just got created. For them, there is no difference between spirit and matter, and they do not accept the Supreme Spirit. Everything is matter only, and the whole cosmos is supposed to be a mass of ignorance. According to them, everything is void, and whatever manifestation exists is due to our ignorance in perception. So according to them, everything is void. And that is the Buddhist philosophy. So somebody can say, how come you're calling Buddhist followers as demons? I'm not calling. This is what Krishna is saying, and Prabhupada is explaining that. Simple. If one does not believe in God, he is a demon. If one believes in made-up God, whatever he thinks is convenient and he makes up God, that's also demonic. They take it for granted that all manifestation of diversity is a display of ignorance. Just as in a dream we may create so many things which actually have no existence. Then when we are awake, we shall see that everything is simply a dream. And so instead of acquiring knowledge, they become more and more implicated to their dreamland. They conclude that as a child is simply the result of sexual intercourse between men and women, this world is born without any soul. For them, it's only a combination of matter that has produced the living entities, and thus there is no question of the existence of the soul. So they say this material world and this body, it's all a combination of chemicals, and there is no such thing as soul. As many living creatures come out from the perspiration and from a dead body without any cause, the whole living world has come out of the material combinations of the cosmic manifestation. But they don't understand the material combination of cosmic manifestation does not and cannot happen on its own. Somebody has to create that connection, that combination, or that reaction. Therefore, material nature is a cause of this manifestation, and there is no other cause. They do not believe in the words of Krishna in Bhagvadgita, Maya Dhyaksena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. They do not believe in this. They say, oh, the whole cosmic manifestation just appeared on its own for no reason at all. And they do not believe in Krishna's words. When Krishna says, under my direction, the whole material world is moving. In other words, among the demons, there is no perfect knowledge of the creation of the world. Every one of them has some particular theory of his own. According to them, one interpretation of the scriptures is as good as another, for they do not believe in a standard understanding of the scriptural injunctions. So according to Krishna, they all are demons. Text 9. Etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmano alpabuddhya prabhavanti ugra karmana kshai jagato hitaha. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So this is also a demoniac, especially with all the scientists coming up with big scientific discoveries. But basically, the idea is to destroy the world. In fact, today, here it is 9th August. In fact, today is the day when America dropped the bomb on Nagasaki, right? So this is demonic. They only make things to destroy the world. The demoniac are engaged in activities that will lead the world to destruction. The Lord states that they are less intelligent. The materialists who have no concept of God think that they are advancing. But according to Bhagvadgita, they are unintelligent and devoid of all senses. They try to enjoy this material world to the utmost limit and therefore always engage in inventing something for sense gratification. So this is all the inventions, R&D all over the world is for what? It's basically how I can enjoy my senses more. For whatever we have been doing so far, yes, it gave me some pleasure. For a while now, I'm bored of it. I need to discover something new. And there's so many thousands and thousands and thousands of things coming in the market every day. Because somebody has figured out a better way of sense gratification than what we were doing earlier. Whether it is computers, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is mechanical, civil, or medical science, or anything. Basically, the idea is my senses should be pleased, and they can never be pleased completely. So I won't say merry-go-round, but it's a go-round. There's no merry in it. There's no happiness in it. But they think this is what the life is all about, and this is what makes them happy. To keep on working, inventing new things, finding out new ways to enjoy your senses. That's all. And then after a while, it becomes a norm. It becomes this is a fashion. This is the latest thing. Everybody has to do it. And then the scientists move on to a new thing. Okay, let's discover this. Let's find this. So idea is so people get bored of previous way of sense gratification. Let's give them a new way to enjoy themselves. But this is all demonic. Such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization. But the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel, cruel to animals and cruel to the other human beings. They have no idea how to behave toward one another. Animal killing is very prominent amongst demoniac people. Now that's another quality that they like to eat meat. So animal killing is very prominent among these guys. They just cannot live without eating flesh. And this is really demonic. Such people are considered the enemies of the world because ultimately they will invent or create something which will bring destruction to all. Indirectly, this verse anticipates the invention of nuclear weapons, of which the whole world is today very proud. At any moment, war may take place, and these atomic weapons may create havoc. Such things were created solely for the destruction of the world, and this is indicated herein. Due to godlessness, such weapons are invented in human society. They're not meant for the peace and protection of the world. So they're not meant for peace and prosperity. They're only meant for destruction. So very, very nice purport by Prabhupada. And I'm sorry, but I have to stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, beautiful background of Lord Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It was a beautiful class and
Thank you.
really good to know about so many doubts related to women. So from the text 6, it is mentioned that Vedic literature that both the demigods and the demons are born of the Prajapati. Prajapati is Lord Shri Krishna or who?
No. They're different Prajapati, like Daksh Prajapati, and there's so many.
Okay.
Daksh is only one. Of course, demigods and demons, they're born from, if I'm not wrong, Kashyap Muni or Kardam Muni. He had two wives, Diti and Aditi. And from Diti came demons, Daityas, and from Aditi came all the demigods.
So demigod is like all are 33 types of god and goddesses.
33 crore. Yes.
Crore, koti, whatever they say. So they all have born from the same, you mean to say, Kashyap Muni's.
Yeah. Is it Kashyap Muni or Kardam Muni? No, Kardam Muni was Devhuti. Okay, yeah, it's Kashyap.
Kashyap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even Kashmir, Kashyap Muni's lake.
Kashyap Muni, what?
Kashmir is also Kashyap Muni's.
Yeah.
We all of us read that.
Yeah, read that. I don't know the truthfulness. I have no idea.
Prabhuji, this title of Prajapati given for some reason, whether the king wants something.
Prajapati means they're expert in having kids and starting the population. Because they're sons of Brahma, and Brahmaji's service is to populate the universe. So he has different Prajapatis helping him.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. We'll read about different Prajapatis later in Bhagavatam.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.